Now, another Hindu idol found in mosque inside Qutub Minar. This is the big news that we're currently tracking. 1,200-year-old idol of Lord Narsingha and his disciple Prahlada carved in one of the pillars of the Qutub Islam Mosque within the Qutub Minar complex, leading to now growing clamour for the survey of the Mughal monuments. Remember, we already saw much talk and protests, in fact, by the Hindu groups sitting outside Qutub Minar demanding for a survey to be done because they want to reclaim their lost Hindu heritage. Qutub Minar that was built during the Mughal era. Now, there's information that a 1,200-year-old idol of Lord Narsingha and his disciple Prahlada carved in one of the pillars of the Qutub Islam Mosque within the Qutub complex has been found, leading to now growing clamour for survey of the Mughal monuments. Let me cut across to Milan joining us for more on that from Delhi. Milan, here is one more piece of information that we get, really adding to all that campaign that the Hindu groups are now carrying out, asking for reclaiming lost Hindu heritage. The iconic Qutub Minar, they claim that they found a 1,200-year-old Hindu idol in the Qutub Minar complex. How true is it, and what is the demand that they're making?
Yes, Nabila. In fact, this particular idol of Lord Narsingha, where the Lord can be seen with his disciple Prahlada, has been found in one of the pillars of the Qutub Islam Masjid that has been made inside the Qutub Minar complex. And the archaeologists and experts that have found this idol have placed it on one side. So if you go to Qutub Minar, you will be able to see this particular idol being kept there. And what the archaeological survey experts have told us is that this one belongs to an era at least 1,200 years old, the idol is. And it was made by the Pratihara kingdoms at that point of time when the Indian kings of the Pratihara dynasty ruled in India. So all these idols, after the Ganesha idol and the Vishnu idol and the kind of in scriptures that have been seen on the Qutub Minar inside the complex as well, and many of the stone carvings that show the architectural sense of the Hindu temples there, clearly states that these are these need archaeological survey, and that is a demand that has also been raised in a district court, wherein they have said that of course the right to practice of worship should be given to Hindus in that area, but also the archaeologists say that excavation and surveys need to be carried out within the Qutub Minar complex also, because according to the archaeological survey, Nabila, 27 such Hindu temples and Jain temples were demolished, and from their demolished stones, the masjid and the surrounding area was created after the Mughals rule essentially began at that time. So these are the kind of evidences that are being now culled out from various places, and certainly the clamor to reclaim such places is ongoing.
All right. That's Milan explaining to us that here, while you had protests from Hindu groups right outside the Qutub Minar demanding for an ASI survey, an archaeological survey of India, to carry out an investigation to see if there's Hindu religious symbolism within the complex of Qutub Minar. Right after that demand, here we believe that a Hindu idol has been found inside the Qutub Minar mosque complex. A 1,200-year-old idol of Lord Narsingha and his disciple Prahlada, carved in one of the pillars of the Qutub Islam Mosque within the Qutub Minar complex, has been found. This now leads to further clamour for survey of these Mughal monuments. Remember, these are monuments that have been in place for centuries. This idol too, that Narsingha idol that you see on your screens, this too has been in place as long as the Qutub Minar has been in place. Of course, there is no debate or discussion or any kind of a debate on whether or not this was a Hindu temple that laid below or beneath the Qutub Minar. This is true. There is much evidence to say that several temples were desecrated, and the Mughals, in fact, built several structures, including mosques, over those temples. So this is not a point of debate, but the fact is that now you have several groups coming forward, Hindu groups, asking for this lost Hindu symbolism or lost Hindu heritage to be reclaimed. They want the ASI to carry out surveys to try and find out how far and how long did the Mughals go to really destroy all those temples to build iconic structures like the Qutub Minar. You also have a mosque in that Qutub Minar complex, and on this mosque wall is what they found here, an idol which is at least 1,200 years old of Narsingha. It is a Hindu religious idol, at least 1,200 years old, which has been found in the Qutub complex. This now further only grows clamor on the Archaeological Survey of India to carry out another round of fact check to see what kind of symbolism still prevails in several of these Mughal structures. If we've got Milind back again. Milind, are you with us?
Yes, Nabila, I can hear you quite clearly, yes.
All right, so this image that we see here of Narsingha, Lord Narsingha, which is at least 1,200 years old, has been part of this Qutub Minar complex forever. As long as the Qutub Minar has stood, as long as our memory can jog us, this has been in place, and it's no surprises that this was established or found today. But the point is, the debate and the discussion on reclaiming this lost heritage has begun now. Who has found this? Who has found this idol, and where did this all start?
Yes, definitely, Nabila. There's no debate or discussion on the fact that such kind of Indian carvings or that predate the Mughal era have been found in the Qutub Minar complex. There's no discussion about it. In fact, the Archaeological Survey of India themselves have put it on various placards in the whole area that 27 such Hindu temples and Jain temples, in fact, were demolished at the time when the Mughals had come to this particular area in Mehroli, which earlier used to be known as Miravali, and had destroyed or demolished, desecrated these temples. The current structures that you see around Qutub Minar are made out of the stones that were used from these very temples. So this is no surprise. People are aware of this. Historians are also aware of this. But there are a lot of carvings that you will see on the base of the pillars that still exist in Qutub Minar that do not correspond to the architectural nuances of the Mughals, but they do correspond to the architectural nuances of the Indian or the Hindu dynasty kings that were ruling at that point of time. Now that this idol has been found, there was also an earlier controversy surrounding the Qutub Minar where a Ganesh idol and a Vishnu idol carvings were also seen on the pillars there, which obviously has now led to the Hindu groups and the Hindu right-wing groups to come forward and say that they should also be allowed to worship in these areas. Now, Qutub Minar happens to be a protected ASI site. It's a international monument of an international stature, just like the Taj Mahal. But certainly these, the idols that have been found here and the claims that are being made by the archaeological survey experts, this one particularly has been found by Mr. Dharamveer Sharma, who is an archaeological surveyor and a scientist who looks at such discoveries. And he has said that definitely the idol that has been found is there for all to witness. It's not a hidden idol. The area has not been sealed. So anyone can go and see it and see for themselves that this particular idol has been found within the complex of the Qutub Minar. But certainly, if we talk about the point that you raised, yes, there are groups such as the ones that have filed petitions in courts to let them enter the Qutub Minar, offer prayers at these places. And also, there is a demand for a survey and excavation of these places once again from these groups that are being placed in front of the court. So one of the hearing is supposed to take place at the district court in Saket on the 24th of May. The demand is that the area be surveyed once again, and restoration of such Hindu idols should be done by the ASI that are being found continuously in places where the Mughals invaded and perhaps had desecrated these particular Hindu temples and the Hindu structures before they took over.
Milind, you yourself have filed a report extensively explaining the significance of Qutub Minar and, of course, the kind of Hindu religious symbolism that iconic structure holds even till date. Let's have a quick look at a detailed report on Qutub Minar and its history.
A Mughal structure that marked the beginning of the Muslim Sultanate in India finds itself in another controversy. After Hindu deity Lord Ganesha and Lord Krishna's idol carvings were found on the pillars of the Quwwatul Islam Mosque within the Qutub Minar. This time, it's Lord Narsingha and his disciple Prahlada in a carving in stone of the pillars of perhaps the oldest mosque in North India. Archaeological experts claim it's at least 1,200 years old. This idol was found in a pillar of the mosque, was carved in between the 8th to 9th century during the reign of the Pratihara kings or Raja Anangpal. Earlier demands for excavation in the area have been raised. Experts believe more such remnants of Hindu temples could be found if a survey is conducted. An appeal has been filed in the district court once again. The suit says that the temple complex be restored to preserve, protect the religious and cultural heritage of India and practice the right to religion guaranteed by Article 25 and 26 of the Constitution. This time by the Jain deity Tirthankur Lord Rishabhdev and Hindu deity Lord Vishnu through their next of friends. Because the ASI themselves claim that 27 Hindu and Jain temples in Qutub Minar were demolished and Quwwatul Islam Mosque was built inside the complex reusing the material. Last week, two fringe right-wing groups were detained near the Qutub Minar after they assembled at the site to recite the Hanuman Chalisa, claiming that the site was once a Vishnu temple and demanded that Qutub Minar be named as a Vishnu Stambh.
It has been claimed inside by the Archaeological Survey of India that at the time when the Qutub Minar and the masjid was built, it was done so by demolishing 27 Hindu and Jain temples, and the stones and the carvings of those temples were used to once again build the entire structure around the Qutub Minar. And that is a claim that has been put forward with the newer idols and discoveries that are being made by historians and archaeological survey people, which is why this matter has also gone to court at the next hearing for the petition that has been filed to restore the Qutub Minar area as a temple and allow people the right to worship inside is going to be heard on the 24th of May. With Alok Das in New Delhi.